Good morning. How are y'all this morning? On this beautiful fall-y day, it's good to be together. Welcome to this place of fun and fellowship. I'm the Reverend Dr. Beth Johnson. My pronouns are she, they. Welcome to this church. It's good to be together for our service today. I'm so excited to be able to join Pam Fodor, our Director of Programs, in this service, which is a beautiful tradition in our congregation. Also joined by Jamie Passman and the Celebration Singers, directed by Julia Beckman, our tech crew, Alex and Jean, and a handful of all the other talented church friends. It takes a village, doesn't it?
It does.
To put on this year's annual...
Literally a village.
Like a village. Yep. And this is our annual family Thanksgiving service, Stone Soup. It is good to be together. And Pam, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I invite you to our call of worship. Your response will be, we give thanks this day. For our community gathered here, for the Spirit that called us together and drew us to this place, we give thanks this day. For moments we have shared with others, for times when we have reached out to others, for times when others have reached out to us, for moments when we have discovered another along our path, we give thanks this day. For this community of welcoming, kindness, and belonging, we give thanks this day. For our gathering together out of distant places, for our weaving together out of many separate selves, this hour of celebration and worship, we give thanks this day. Please join in our opening hymn, Rising in Body or in Spirit, Here We Have Gathered. It had been a cold, lean winter in the village. Winter had lasted longer than usual, and the stores of food that had been carefully gathered after the fall harvest were now nearly gone. In fact, the villagers and farmers in the valley were growing fearful. Spring had broken the back of winter, but it would still be weeks before the tender green shoots of new plants would come up from the rough and rich soil in their gardens. It would be weeks before plump fish returned to the nearby rivers. Suddenly, through the morning mist, the villagers noticed two figures in the distance. Two people were walking on the road straight towards their village. Who could it be? Who's going to visit the village, and what do they want? So I offer my second welcome to the service today. I'm Pam Fodor, Director of Programs and silly things like this. If you're visiting with us today, we invite you to sign our visitor's book in the back in the living room, and we hope you will join us for coffee hour downstairs. If you would like, pick up a green mug so that we are sure to greet you more personally. Also, members and friends, to help everyone connect, please remember to wear your name tags with your pronoun stickers. If you need a new name tag, see the visitor table in the living room in the back of the sanctuary, or you can send an email, not to me, finally, but to the office email so that our new office admin, Naida, can take care of it for you. We'd like to thank you for placing your phone in worship mode, but please do feel free to check in on social media and let folks know that you're worshiping here today. Childcare for our children under the age of 5 is available in our playroom located in the lower level of the RE building across the alley. However, today's service is one that will be fun for all ages, so everyone is encouraged to stay. There's always a lot going on around the church, and you can read all about it in our news and notes, which arrives in your inbox every Friday. But I do have a couple highlights. First off, your auction invoices are here and ready to be paid. Please stop by the auction table downstairs to take care of your purchases. And there are also a few items and signups left, so be sure to see the yellow tablecloth table way at the end of the Alice Warren room. Today is the last day to sign up for any extras, so please take care of that. On Friday, December 1st at 7 o'clock, we will be hosting a Deck the Halls party to actually deck the halls of our sanctuary and in the living room in the back. There'll be snacks and crafts and a sing-along at the end of the night, so please join us for that. We are still collecting new and unwrapped gifts and $25 gift cards to Target or Walmart for children and families who are clients of the Humanitarian Service Project. You can place your toys and gift cards in the wrapped box in the living room by the Christmas tree. All donations must be made by next Sunday. And finally, two more, almost finally, you can help spread a little joy to those who will be spending the holidays in prison by stopping in our Alliance room after the service today, and you can write out a card or two to be sent. And that's today only. And lastly, don't rush off after the service. Stay a while and enjoy our very own stone soup and good company. So now let's light our chalice.
We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other. For in this sharing, it is this sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us.
While we were beginning our worship service, the villagers were still staring down the road, watching the two strangers approach. Would they be friendly? Were they dangerous? What reason could they have for visiting their village, especially during the lean days of spring? Questions whirled through the villagers' minds. As the strangers entered the village, an elder stepped forward to greet them.
Good morning and peace to you. Who passes this way?
Greetings and peace to you, madam. We are simple travelers on a long journey.
We seek nothing but a friendly people so that we might rest our feet for a day, share some stories and a meal, and sleep among friends before continuing on our way.
You come in peace and are in need of rest. We are a humble village, but a friendly one, and we would welcome hearing the stories and news that you bring from far away. We have warm fires that will keep you safe and comfortable as you sleep, but a meal, you say? You want to share a meal? Do you bring this meal with you?
We bring stories and news.
And some lovely stones and seashells that I brought along the way.
You and those seashells. You and those silly stones you just had to pick up. We bring important news from the cities on the other side of the mountain, madam. We bring stories of intrigue and suspense from those who have fought dragons and lived to tell the tale. We bring the juiciest gossip of the king's new consort and her considerable assets. But we do not, I beg your understanding, bring a meal.
Unless you want to chew on my seashells, but I wouldn't recommend it.
We're eager to hear your stories, my friends, and your news. I'm particularly interested to hear about the assets of the king's new consort. But our offer of a fire and friendship still stands. You may join us for this day and night, but we beg your understanding. This has been a hard winter. We have very little food to get us through to the growing season. There's barely enough food for ourselves, so we can't provide you with a meal.
Thank you, madam. We understand and appreciate taking simple sanctuary with you this day and night.
Drat, I'm hungry. What are we gonna do? How will we eat?
We'll think of something. Just please stop with the stones and she-shells. I'm tired of hearing it.
What hardship. Everyone's hungry, but no one seems able to share their food. As we let the strangers and villagers find their way to the village, let's celebrate that they are at least going to be together. Please join in singing hymn 67. We now sing together. the two strangers were happy to enter the village. They found a beautiful glade of trees where they could be comfortable. As they settled in, their growling stomachs reminded them that while they'd met with good fortune in this village, it wasn't outstanding fortune. The villagers seemed hungry or stingy or both. It was hard to tell. What was clear was that the villagers wouldn't be offering any food to the strangers anytime soon.
I'm so hungry. I can't stop thinking about golden griddle cakes made from the finest cornmeal.
Oh no, let's not speak of food. You're making me hungrier.
That's what I'd like to eat right now. A big steaming stack of fluffy griddle cakes with juicy blueberries and wildflower honey on top.
What did I just say?
And then I'd like to eat a platter of succulent grilled fish with roasted vegetables and sea salt.
Am I talking to myself? Please stop.
Fish with potatoes, little roasted potatoes, crispy little salty potatoes.
If you don't stop, I'm going to leave you to rest here and find somewhere else to sit. I am. See if I don't.
To tell you the truth, I'd settle for a nice hot bowl of soup. Too bad all we have are these stories. Or, I'm sorry, all we have are these stones. We have stories, but stones. You're right. It was silly to pick them up. You can't make soup out of stones. Nope, nope, nope.
That's it. First, you won't stop talking about the seashells and stones, and now you won't talk with the food talk. Stones, soup, stone, soup. It's driving me crazy. Stone, soup, stone, soup, stone, soup. Hey, wait a minute. Hey.
What? Did you forget to tell me that you actually have some griddle cakes with you?
What? Did you forget to tell me that? Oh, that's sorry, you're lying. I have an idea. Would you please show me one of your prettiest stones?
Now you're interested in my stones?
How would you like to make a little magic with a stone? I think it could help us make a very nice meal.
I can't imagine how, but I am all ears. Oops, page turn. Tell me what you have in mind.
Now is the time in our service when we make a little magic of our own for our congregation by taking the offering for its financial support.
Pardon me, friend, but do you have a large pot?
A cooking pot? Why would you want that? If it's a bath you want, the river's right around the bend. The water's pretty cold right now, but
A cooking pot is what we want, madam, and cooking is what we're going to use it for. You see, we just remembered that some of the stones my companion just dropped on the floor, well, they're of the magic variety, you see. And we want to thank your village for your hospitality by making stone soup.
Stone soup? I've never heard of such a thing. It doesn't sound very appetizing.
Ah, but it is, madam. Stone soup is appetizing and delectable, and it's very simple to make. All you need is the right stone, which we have, and a cooking pot, which we very much hope you'll lend us, and some fresh water from your well, which shouldn't be a problem. And finally, a small fire on which to cook, which is already before us.
With excitement, villagers bring forth a large cooking pot, and the strangers gratefully accept it. They fill the pot with water and light the fire. And so it was, curious, hungry, and eager to be of assistance, the villagers helped the two strangers fill the pot and place it over the fire. And as they did, the villagers whispered to one another, "Stone soup? Have you ever heard of such a thing? What in the world could this be? How are they going to make this?"
Thank you, friends. Now let me add the magic stone, and our stone soup will be underway.
Is it ready yet?
Not yet, friend, not yet. Like any soup, stone soup takes a while to prepare. It will be ready to eat by and by.
And so the stone soup began to simmer, and the villagers stood around watching the strangers, more curious than ever, but also hungrier than ever. As the two strangers began brewing their stone soup, the hungry villagers looked on, and so the magic began.
Where did you learn how to make stone soup? Is it a traditional food from your homeland?
That's right. I mean, yes. Both of us have made stone soup many, many times. Help me out here, please.
Oh, yes, many times. Although this batch of soup, it probably won't be quite as good as it was last time we made it. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Nothing could be as delicious as that soup. It tasted as though the angels themselves had made it.
Heavenly. We might be able to make this batch of stone soup as delicious as that one, if only.
If only.
What? If only what?
If only we had an onion or two. If only we could add some onions, this soup would tempt the gods themselves to come down from heaven to eat among us.
I might be able to help with that. I have some onions in my cellar and was saving them for, well, it doesn't matter. Would you like them for the soup?
Of course. Thank you.
Ah, yes, now it's becoming a sublime stone soup. Sort of sublime with the onions. To be truly sublime, we also need to add a few carrots, but that would be too much to expect.
It certainly would. Oh. Carrots? It certainly would. A few carrots are out of the question, even though they'd make our stone soup sublimely sublime. Oh, you may add your
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for taking
Thank you for sharing, friend. Now our stone soup is on its way to being superbly satisfying.
Is there any chance your stone soup?
Certainly.
Superb! Sublime!
One by one, the shy villagers became bolder, stepping forward to reveal that they had small treasures in their cellars and cold stores. Someone was sent forward with some small cabbages. A man offered a handful of peas. And another villager supplied some eggplants. And yet another villager stepped up to the pot of bubbling soup with 2 juicy tomatoes. Did I forget any vegetables? I don't, okay. And lastly, someone stepped up with a few good shakes of salt and pepper. Every time someone brought forward a small contribution to the soup, the strangers gratefully accepted it and stirred it into the soup pot. Well, almost every time. There was one exception.
Anchovies, no.
No. What my companion meant is we couldn't possibly accept such a generous contribution. But thank you anyway. Perhaps as an appetizer.
And so the soup pot, now filled with a delicious assortment of vegetables and grains, began to release its tantalizing aroma throughout the village. I bet if you take a big sniff right now, you might actually be able to smell it. Everyone's mouth was watering and stomachs were grumbling. To think of eating such a fine meal. The stone soup was nearly complete, and the villagers' hope and gratitude began to crowd out thoughts of hunger. Before we join the villagers in their feast, we pause to find our reasons for hope and gratitude. During this time of silent meditation, let us savor this moment here and now in the company we share.
Breathe with me. Imagining how your own cup is full or even empty, and knowing that we gather together to be filled and held. Spirit of life and love, too often when we see someone in need, our hearts can turn to stone. Too often the people who cross paths with us move us to indifference or irritation, or they simply become invisible to us amid the burdens that we share and we carry. This week, or even this day, we will surely encounter someone or something that might cause our hearts to turn to stone. When that happens, may we remember that all of the gifts we can give, and the greatest of these gifts is love. May our hearts open not only to those who are close to us, but to all people and to all beings whom we encounter. Let our judgment turn to forgiveness. Let our irritation give way to patience. Let us live our belief in love and compassion. We pause this day, this morning, in acknowledgement that tomorrow, this has been Transgender Awareness Week, and tomorrow is Transgender Day of Remembrance. It is the day that we set aside nationally and globally to recognize, to honor, to mourn those across the world, transgendered siblings who have been killed by violence. In the United States, at least 26 deaths of transgender and gender nonconforming lives have been tragically and inhumanely taken through violent means, including gun and interpersonal violence. Globally, 320 trans and gender diverse people have been murdered. 94% of those were trans women or trans feminine people. Trans people affected by racism make up 80% of the reported murders, 15% increase from last week. 45% of the trans people murdered in Europe were those whose migration patterns were known as they were migrants or refugees. Yes, and so it is. And so we come not only with naming this, which we do each year, but we also name that there are ways that we can collectively, as a village, add our time, our talents, our treasures, our lives to support our transgender siblings who in this country are making their way from dangerous states to so-called safe states, which Illinois is. So I'm here to tell you this morning that we have an opportunity to partner with the DuPage UU Church in assisting people who find their way to our state and find their way to a state of safety. There are a number of ways that we as a village will join the village around us to be able to support our transgender siblings who are trying to get to safety. There will be a sign-up sheet. Carol will have a sign-up sheet in the social hall, the Ellis Warren Room, if you are interested in assisting any way that you can. meals, transportation, friendship. There may be some of you who are capable and interested in even offering housing. And for those of you who are interested in that, training and support will be offered. So I invite you to take a moment with me. Perhaps thinking about the ways that you indeed could offer your heart, your hands, for us to be a village of love and of support. And now, if something is dancing or weighing in your heart this morning, I'm going to invite you up to share a joy or a sorrow, to put a stone. Each week we kind of create our own stone soup. We take stones, each one of them is unique, just as each of you are unique. And we put it in our common bowl, not a cauldron, but it is a bowl of transformation. It's a bowl in which you share, you put your pebble in silence or with a few words of your personal marker event, and then it's held and washed in the bowl of water, which cleanses, holds, and washes over us, each with love. If you have something that you'd like to share, I invite you to come forward as I light a candle in honor and memory of those transgendered siblings who have been killed by violence.
My name is Pat. This morning, my cousin Barbara underwent emergency lung surgery. And last week, her husband had a massive stroke, so they're both in the same hospital. He's on hospice. Friday night, our beloved cat, Willow, crossed over the Rainbow Bridge in Joe's arms at home, and we'll sure miss her.
Good morning. My name is Nancy, and I'm here because I wanted to remember two very dear friends who both happen to have the same November birthday in a couple days, and that's Lorna Nuniker, 95, and Kathy Blandford. I won't mention her age, but anyway, they're both just beautiful, treasured friends, and I so appreciate our long, treasured friendship. Thank you.
It's just with respect to the remembrance.
My name's Aaron, and I want to let you know that the soup smells so good, even someone on YouTube service said they smelled the soup today. I won't mention any names. But I also wanted to mention, for those of you who don't know, Peter Crower celebrated a birthday this week, so sorry, Peter, I spilled the beans. Happy birthday. Yeah, right into the stone soup. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Sarah. Two things. I'm just incredibly proud of my kids over there who are sitting in the front row there. Asher turns 14 on Tuesday. Big birthday for him. And my girls are both in the Children's Theater of Western Springs production of Mary Poppins coming up in the middle of December. We're very proud of them. They're working very hard for 11 shows over 2 weeks. So it's a lot of work, but they're having a lot of fun. I just couldn't be prouder of the three of them over there. Thank you.
Drop your three pebbles. I dropped 3 for you. For those joys and sorrows, those spoken and unspoken, will you hold with me a moment of silent reflection? Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Holy One moving in, through, and among us. You are as close as our breath. With each breath that we take, we are reminded of the preciousness of this life. We're reminded of the birds, the growing, the aging, and the letting go. We're reminded that we are indeed each connected, one to the other, here, near, and far, as our hearts are with those who are suffering from the ravages of war and occupation. May we as a village allow our hearts to open, even if they're broken, knowing that a broken heart opens up to the whole world. As we create our collective soup and nourishment for one another, may they in turn allow us to nourish the world. And you, each of you, know this. You are always and everywhere held in love and mystery, deeper than you can know.
Finally, the meal was ready. After cooking for an afternoon, the strangers and their magic stone had prepared a soup that was now ready to be eaten.
Step right up, my friends. Step right up. Bring a bowl, bring a spoon, and come taste this delicious stone soup.
What if we run out?
We won't run out. There's plenty for everyone to eat. That's the magic of stone soup.
No matter how old they were, every villager had his or her fill of soup from the bubbling pot. Everyone agreed that it was the tastiest soup they'd ever eaten, and no one could quite believe that the strangers had made it from just a small stone. That's right, the villagers slept soundly with full bellies and grateful hearts. It was a little easier to believe that spring with its bounty of food was just around the corner. It was easier for the villagers to hope that they'd never know such a deep hunger again. And it was satisfying for the villagers to reflect that upon welcoming strangers among them, they had received a gift that they'd never expected.
We too have so much to share, not only with one another, but also with the community around us. In this story, our strangers told the villagers that they created soup with a magic stone. Do you believe in magic? That's like really a question. Do y'all believe in magic? There's a little pressure to say yes. In your heart, do you believe in magic? What one person might call magic is known to others by different names, such as grace, random acts of kindness, even luck. But if you pay attention, you'll find that we experience these moments of magic or unbidden, seemingly senseless grace everywhere. Seeking out these moments takes some effort and some energy. It's very easy to find problems in the world, very easy. We don't even have to go looking for them. They are here and they are present to us all the time. But with skilled eyes and hearts, we can find grace and kindness from moment to moment. And to live from that place of grace and that place of kindness in a world that could yield so easily to despair. This, in our month of the gift of generosity, our theme for this month. The strangers were wondering if they would receive generosity, weren't they? Were they stingy or hungry or both? But the strangers, in their cleverness, also gave generously, not only of their stones, but of their ideas, of their imagination, and in turn offered the gift of possibility. Because truly, when we open to the world and its possibility, we see magic everywhere. Philip Carrault once said, in the search for love, there was looking for magic. But once you fall in love with the world, the magic is everywhere. I invite you, perhaps even challenge you this holiday season, to be the change that we would like to see in the world. Because, beloveds, there is magic everywhere. And we can be the ones to bring that magic to the world.
Dawn came early the next day. With the first call of the rooster, the strangers began to prepare for their journey. As they stepped onto the road, a few villagers came to see them off.
Must you go so soon?
Go we must. Our journey continues.
Before you leave, please, I have 2 questions for you. 2 questions that all of us have been talking about since our meal. The first is this: why did you take such kindness on us?
It was you who were first kind to us, madam. You welcomed us into your village, and you liked my shells. I always appreciate it when people admire my seashell collection.
Our kindness was more than just repaying your kindness, however. It is our way. It is the way we wish to be in the world.
Also, we just like soup.
Thank you for entering our village as strangers and leaving as friends.
The strangers waved to the villagers, who happily waved back. It wasn't until the strangers had reached the bend in the road that the elder remembered his second question.
Wait. Where did you get that magic stone?
But the strangers had already rounded the bend in the road. Their answer was caught in the wind and carried into the treetops. The villagers never learned exactly where the strangers had found that magic stone.
No.
But over the years, the wisest among them realized that the magic stones were all around them, before their very eyes. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in our closing hymn, We Lift Our Hearts in Thanks. Whisper thank you for all that is good in our lives.
May we shout thank you for the abundance of blessings. Thank you!
May we feel thank you deep within our hearts and around us now.
May we be thankful down to the bones for this time together.
May we take the time to feed each other, take care of each other, appreciate and trust each other, and say thank you.
For it is the only prayer we'll ever need. Thank you.
I want to give thanks today to someone who's very, very special to me, a dear friend, whose birthday it is. So, I'm not supposed to give it away.
Join us downstairs for our very own delicious stone soup.